So we're going to talk about mindfulness, which I don't really talk about much anymore because it's now one of those words that so many people are using it in different ways that it loses its essence because too many people have too many different interpretations as to what mindfulness is. To me, it's just being in the moment. But that's a really difficult thing for most people to understand, all right? It's easier to understand, and I actually saw this at a restaurant, which was Mindful Chicken. Now, I have no idea how they got there. But that was one of them that said, okay, probably we shouldn't use that word anymore. But the essence of what that is really, really important to our practice. You know, when we were at the retreat and we did I Am Here, that is kind of the essence of a mindfulness practice. How do we be here now? How do we actually shift so that instead of judging, because if you're judging, you're not here, all right? Anything that is past or future, those are things that are not here. The only thing that happens to you in your life are happening now, but we have a tendency to live in the past in terms of all of the good things and where that way, we get, and we distort the past. It's not what it was anyway. That's just a thinking thing that's going on. And then we're really crazy about the future and what's going to happen and how we're going to manipulate what's going to happen and what's going to, and God, we spend so much time making decisions that you're not going to actually make until the time that you have to make the decision, all right? And you roll these things around in your mind and you think about them, but your thinking about them just kind of escalates the anxiety or the insecurity or the need to control or the I have to's or shoulds rather than just, hey, let's be where we are. And sometimes thoughts come up about what do I want to do, but I know it's not the time to make that decision, but I don't need to fret. And being in the now is in the experience of the now, which is out of the thinking level. If you're thinking about it, you're not being mindful. Even as you begin to think about, what might happen in the future, you're in thought. Those places where we're able to move out of thought, that's those places where there are expanded states of consciousness. And in those expanded states of consciousness, we're actually present in the moment. Right? The singer that is singing without self-consciousness gets to a place to where they are present in the moment. You can go to a sporting event or a rock and roll concert and we're with 30,000 people. The experience of having a shared emotion with 30,000 people and an experience where you're really there will knock you out of self. We've found places in our lives, probably accidentally, where we actually are in the present moment. That's what mindfulness is. Look, one of the things that I've been practicing for a long, long time is how do you begin to speak just like I'm speaking now, but having no idea what I'm going to say, all right? Because if I have an idea of what I'm going to say, I'm not actually present now. And I'm not authentic with what is present inside of me at this point that then gets articulated through my intuitive mind, not my intellectual mind. If it's my intellectual mind, you get me, and that's quite limited, you guys. Okay. But if I can get to the place to where I don't know what I'm going to say, then I'm in a place to where it just flows. And then it's, well, what happens when at this moment you put Brian in front of a camera and see what he's going to say? And supposing that we do that in our lives, and so that instead of trying to guess what other people are doing, feeling, thinking, and we do that in the intellect, how about if we just do that in our limbic brain, our emotional responses to things? When we get to the place, and we will as human beings, and we're learning this now, and we're at the front edge of this, when we learn to be able to communicate better with each other without having to go through, all right, the incredible complications of the words that we have created about things, all right, there'll be a difference in humanity. And we'll be able to connect at that level and heal at that level. But that level is being absolutely present with each other right now. Where you come home from work and your partner knows when you walk in the door that you've had a hard day. And that you sit and you connect empathetically, and you feel the range of feelings that you need to feel in this moment with each other, and they combine into something that is healing. And so if I'm sensitive and you come in and I can connect empathetically, but that also means that I'm being empathetic and compassionate and connected, and you're down, and we're being down together. But in that being down together, we're healing each other. It's the essence of the practice that we're trying to do with our, and I think that we've decided on apprentices. That came up the other day, and shepherdese has never worked very well for me. But we couldn't think of anything else, right? But then apprentices came up, and yeah, that's the right one. But we know that by feeling. So here I am, feeling present, grateful, inspired, connected, scared, overwhelmed. Now, as I spoke those words, there was a feeling behind every one of them. That's how fast it moves. We can't be a part of it. We can only watch. We can only be present for what's happening around us. The problem for most of us is we've only been present at the self-conscious level. We haven't been able to expand beyond that, so that I'm experiencing a we. I'm experiencing a unification that goes beyond my limited view of self, my limited view of me. And I become more than that. And in that, we find mindfulness. We find being present. We find an extension, an expansion of who we are. And the great thing is that's contagious. So go be contagious, be present, be mindful.